Hi everyone, welcome to another quick session. In this session, we will discuss recovery strategy, another important topic for the CISSP exam. Recovery strategies ensure critical business function can continue or be restored after a disaster. So, the CISSP exam focuses on business priorities, crisis management, emergency communication, alternate sites, hot, warm, and cold. We will discuss we will discuss them one by one, and database recovery. So let's get started. When we talk about business unit and functional priorities, you must identify critical business function and rank them based on importance. So when we when we prioritize critical business functions, so what are the critical business functions? Means if those business function goes down, then that might cause a big issue for the company. So it could be revenue, a company can lose a revenue. So we need to identify those functions which are very critical for the companies. If they goes down, so company uh, could have a big impact, business impact. So therefore, we need to identify them and then rank them based on importance. So as we all know that every business function is not very critical. So there could be some functions which could not be very critical. They might be less critical. Therefore, we need to rank them every single business function, and based on that, we need to uh, we need to check how we can how we in case of disaster, in case of outage, in case of disruption, how we can handle them. So for example, payment processing is more critical than marketing. If you have online shop, and you are selling some products, and and you, and when customers are buying something, they they are unable to pay it, or there is something wrong with the payment processing. So, and it is more critical. Obviously, it is more critical than marketing, right? So this payment processing, you can put marketing strategy on hold for a while. It's not an issue. If you stop marketing your product, it's not a big problem. But payment processing, it is a very critical thing. If there is something wrong with your payment processing system, it might cause a big issue for your um, company or business. Uh, so another good example is customer support is more critical than HR training. So if you do not have proper customer support, that could damage company reputation. So therefore, it is more important than HR training. So this ranking drives the order of recovery, right? So if we rank them, all those critical functions, then we can also rank them accordingly. Uh, the order will be very important. How we need to recover them. So in which order we need to recover them. If, for instance, if there is something wrong with payment processing, then obviously we need to recover payment processing process. If customer support is not working properly, then we need to recover customer support first. So business priorities determine which systems are restored first. Another good thing which we need to keep in mind. So what we are trying to say here, but we need to determine which systems are restored first. Second is crisis management. Crisis management focuses on executive coordination during crisis, not technical recovery. So the coordination, if there is a crisis, then we also need to have a proper framework or guidelines how the coordination, executive coordination uh, during crisis, not technical recovery. So it involves decision making, resource allocation, public communication, stakeholder notification. So crisis management is very important because we need to take appropriate decision at appropriate time. So we, if sometimes if you are experiencing crisis, if your company is experiencing crisis, and if you are not taking appropriate decision during that time, that could lead to a big problem for your company. It could be a reputation, it could be a business loss. So, so decision making is important, and decision making, as we all know, it is made by the top management, right? So, and then a resource allocation during that crisis. Obviously, these things are discussed beforehand. I mean, not during crisis. So, but if we have a proper guideline, um, if we have already done this exercise, if there is will be a crisis, how we will handle them. So resource allocation, if something goes wrong, so if we have a proper documentation, then it is easy to allocate all resources wherever needed. So public communication is a, if there is if there is a crisis, there is a problem, then who will communicate to the public, right? So there are departments. Every employee is not supposed to talk to public, to the media. So there is always a department or assigned role to the certain people, those who are allowed to talk to communicate to the public, to the media. Stakeholder notification. So all the stakeholders, right? So your customers, your partners, how we need to notify them. So all these things are already planned, are already documented. So so in during this crisis management, we should have a proper coordination between management and employees, right? Crisis communication team informs customers. So there could be a different portfolio, but we can say crisis communication team. So it could be any department which is already responsible for this type of communication. So here we can call it crisis communication team informs customers and regulators after outage or breach, right? Crisis management, communication plus coordination, not restoring server. That is the job of the technical teams. As per as we know that as per law, if there is a certain breach or outage, we companies are bound to inform to the respective authorities within certain period of time, right? So that is also as per GDPR law. So we do not want to go into that discussion. But the thing is, what we need to understand is what crisis management is and what is important. So the important thing is communication, coordination, but not restoring servers. That is a different thing. That comes under technical team's responsibilities. Third thing is emergency communications. So ensure communication works during a disaster. Satellite phones, radios, call trees, notification systems, emergency call tree to alert employees during power outage, for instance, if there is a power outage. In big companies, they also do time to time exercise. If there's fire in the building, how you have to exit, where are the exit doors. So these type of exercises are mandatory in the big companies. They do that exercises once in a year or twice in a year. So to make sure if there is a fire or there is a power outage or any big issue, so how you can from where you can exit during a fire in the building. You're not supposed to use the lifts. So these type of things are already educated to the company's employee. So that is emergency communication. So companies do that exercise. So if you do that exercise, if you run those awareness program within company, that is really handy if if you experience that issue in real time, right? Fourth one is work group recovery. Work group recovery is relocating entire teams to alternate work locations. So backup plans, right? If something goes wrong, let's say if there is a fire in the company building and employees cannot continue working from there. So how you can relocate entire teams, departments to alternate work locations. So these things are planned beforehand. So work group recovery. So they are not these are not done during that problem or during that issue. Remote office space used after headquarter outages, temporary co-working facility for displaced soft staff group, right? So these are the strategies which company uh, prepares, right, during a uh, a normal time. They do not do it during issues, right? Second, alternate processing sites. So very important concept. You may see question related to this topic in the CISSP exam. This is the most uh, tested part in the CISSP exam, CISSP domain. So hot site, fully equipped, fully staffed, um, replicates production system ready within hours, most expensive. Yeah, important thing is it's very expensive, right? Um, and warm sites, partially equipped, hardware available, software may need installation ready within days, right? So data center with servers installed, but but needing configuration. So hard sites used for financial trading or hospitals. So that could be one example. But warm sites, data center with server installed by needing configurations, right? So cold site, just empty building space, need hardware installation ready in weeks, cheapest option. Warehouse with power and cooling but no equipment. So hot hours, so we can switch to that hot site within hours very quickly. Warm sites, we can switch to that site in a days, and colds, it might take weeks. So disaster recovery, database recovery used to restore critical data after a failure, methods, replication, backups, transaction logs. For example, standby replica, database activated after failure, point in time, restoring using transaction logs. So recovery is equal to replicate plus transaction log plus backup. So that's it. Very important topics for the CISSP exam. So if you have any feedback on this topic, please share in the feedback section.